Welcome, all of you. Welcome back to our school's official YouTube channel. There are still many children, they have not yet, joined. They are not live. There are only 8 people that they have joined. Bothra, Khandelwal, Arsule, Mane, Navlani, Suraj Kari, Patil, More Sonone, Chobal, Sharma, Nigude, and Tiwari. That's it. This many only are the children. This is not only 9th A or not only 9th B, but both the sections and all children from both the section, that is class 9, should be there here. Even now there are hardly 12 persons, 12 students live. I think I should take attendance tomorrow onward. Here I understand who is there, who is not there. So I'll keep record and necessary or strict action should be taken while giving marks, especially internal. Yes, Akanksha, only 9 are participating it's that time. Now there were 12. You can also check. That's really fantastic. Very good. Okay. So those who have not attended, they must be thinking that this session, means all English sessions, are recorded and the link is there already with you. You can simply click and access it again also in future also. And that's the reason I think that they are not attending. But I will start deleting these recorded videos. Then they won't be able to access. So shall I continue deleting these recorded sessions? How many of you agree? Please mention yes if you agree. How many of you agree that I should delete the sessions that are recorded? Yes, very good. Because you are regular one, those who are attending. See, even now at this moment, you will hardly find 16 persons, including myself. There are 16 only, means students are 15. Okay, you are all in my favor, and so I will today onward only keep record of those who are attending. All right, here I think Vaishnavi says those who skip, you should do it. Yes, very good. Thank you. So let's begin with the same way that yesterday we had begun with giving you the meanings of words and asking you for the word which means that I'm giving. So here is the meaning: contemptuous, or showing you think something is worthless. So what is the word for that? Showing you think something is worthless means these people, those who have not attended, aren't they showing that they think something is worthless, means these sessions are worthless? Do they find so? And is the reason that they are not attending it? They should not. Yes, very right answer. Who is this raw tech gamer? Children, please change such names to your names so that I may understand you easily. Okay? So you have answered correctly that it is scornful. Yesterday we understood that Maggie was scornful. So why was she scornful? That we will come to know today. But let's revise again whatever we have learned. I may not ask you, it may take much time, but I will just simply revise myself for you all. So there is a girl in this lesson, The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov. And what is the name of girl? Maggie. She wrote in her diary on 17 May 2157. This story is going to happen in future, almost 137 years later in future. She wrote that she had, or we can say she would have found diary. a real book, and that's what she had mentioned in the diary. So we will just use past tense only, even if it is going to happen in future, but we will take it as a story as if it has already happened in the past. And it was all about a real book. And you know, a real book is a book that we are nowadays using. You are not using, but because you have also not been given a real book, you are also accessing the PDF files that I'm sharing, or you must be downloading some other part from internet. So these are ebooks that we find on the screen, but a real book is what, that is the one printed. So these things we had discussed. Then what happened? Fane, Tommy said that, gee, what a waste. Means when a book is read and the words on the books, on a real book, that they are printed, they are still, they don't move. But on the screen, there could be millions of books on the screen, and the letters are going on moving. So we can access number of books. But here, Tommy says that if a book is read once and if we are done with that, we need not to read it again. So it is just waste, no? That, you know, the letters are there. If you change or turn over the pages, you will find the same content on it. And as you know that Maggie also agreed, and here we came to know that Maggie was 11 years old and Tommy was 13. And so, yesterday I had told you that Tommy was elder to Maggie. Elder and older, we had discussed yesterday, and I had given you a homework. Do you remember? It was the difference between house and home. So, please come up with your answers. House and home. Elder to and older than. Ayush More, we have already. Kushal More. We have already discussed yesterday only. Okay. But I had given you a homework that what are the differences between house and home. And you have already learnt a poem. Do you remember? In either class 6, I think 6 or 7. So please comment. It was a homework given to you. House is a concrete word for a place where we live. And what about home, Akanksha? Tiwari says a house is a building, but home is made by a family. More says house just for walls, but home is a place where we live. Home, sweet home. Fantastic, very nice, dear. The main difference between them is that the house is concrete. House refers to a building in which someone lives. In contrast, a home can refer either to a building or Nishant, you are trying, but something is missing. Ursula, house is built of many things. Home is an emotion where a person feels that they belong there. Very good, Akanksha. Ankush says house is just a building and home is a place where we people live or where people live together. Very good, Ankush. House is particular building while home can be any place we live in. There are many answers that you are coming with. Here, Kulkarni says home is made by family and love. Exactly, very good. So, house is just a building, but a house where people live happily, that is, or with family, that is a home. So, we should refer to our house as home more than house. We say home. It is my home. I'm staying at my home. Even while I'm saying you goodbye, I always say, especially at the end, that stay home, stay safe. Can we say stay house, stay safe? No. We say stay home, stay safe. Very good. You have all tried your level best. Most of you have answered correctly. So let's go back to the lesson again. Tommy was elder to Maggie, not elder than, you can say older than. But when we are saying about the family members, we have to use elder, not older. Older is used for comparison of other things. Then she asked Tommy, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading. "In the attic." What is it about?" "School." And again, here is a word attic. Who can answer this? The meaning of attic. Yesterday only I had asked you, I had given you the meaning, and I had asked this word. Today I am giving you the word, and you should give me the meaning. Attic. What is attic? What is an attic? Yes, it is a store. It is a storeroom just below the floor. You know, just below the floor, there is a small room or a storeroom where we go on putting the things. That is an attic. So finally, Tommy told her that he found the book there, but he did not even looked at her because he was busy in reading the book. Children, here there are many direct speeches and indirect speeches. Okay, so one example I would like to give you, because these things we have already studied in class 8, so just I want to revise them. I think this lesson may take some more extra days because I'm taking revision also for class 8, so that I may understand how much you remember, and accordingly we will move smoothly. So here is a sentence I'm putting for you all. She said, "Where did you find it?" What is it? Direct speech or indirect speech? Do you remember? They are both called as narration. We had learned. So what is it? Direct speech or indirect speech? She said, "Where did you find it?" Yes. More, Sharma, Khandelwal, Nigude, they have all said it is direct speech. But here is Ubale who says this is indirect speech. Ubale, why do you think it is an indirect speech? It is not indirect speech. This is a direct speech. Stop commenting now. I am again going to put that sentence here so that it would be visible to you all. Okay, please stop commenting. Huh? So the sentence is, she said, "Where did you find it?" Let me give you a very simple example that when there is a speaker and whatever he has spoken is put into double inverted commas. I'm talking about written examples. So you should understand whenever the quotations are used, double inverted commas, especially while we are referring to he said, she said, they said, or ask any communication. And if the dialogues are put between double inverted commas, it must be direct speech. Understood? Ubale had given wrong answer, so just let me clarify once. More than that, when two persons talk to each other and they convey their messages directly, it is direct speech. And what is indirect speech? When your dialogues, they are not put into double inverted commas, then it is indirect speech. And generally, when I am saying something to somebody and that fellow or somebody else convey my message to someone else, to the third person, means when two persons are speaking to each other, it is direct speech. And when the conversation between two persons is conveyed either of them or some other person to the third person, that is indirect speech. Very good. Vaishnavi, it has nothing to do with to be or Vitri. I think you have thought of active and passive voice. You are one of the very brilliant students. Don't misunderstand between direct speech and indirect speech with active voice and passive voice. These things that 2B and V3 we had learned for active and passive. So if I find some such examples, I will definitely explain them for you all. So I hope you have understood direct and indirect speech very well. So these are examples. She said, "Where did you find it?" In my house. So this is also direct speech. Whatever sentences you find here with double inverted commas, they would all be the examples of direct speech. And then Tommy pointed simply out towards his house, and he told that in the attic, that is a space just below the roof used as a storeroom, he found there. After that, out of curiosity, Maggie asked him some more questions. And the next question was, when we say about a book, we definitely want to know what is it about. And then Tommy said that it was all about school. As you have got many days as holidays, I think you must have read some of the other books. I would definitely like to know what books you have read, but not now. Okay, I will ask you later. So here the book that Tommy had found was all about school. Then what is the remark from Maggie? Let's see. Maggie was scornful. School? What's there to write about school? I hate school. Maggie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. And you know, children, she already hated school. And what kind of school did she have, or would she might have been there with her in future? Let's take it as a story that as if happened in the past. So what do you think her school must have been? Like the school we have? No, not at all. Her school was her home, her bedroom, her own room where she was staying. That was the only her school. She had everything over there, a mechanical teacher and all, but she hated them all because, even today, at least you can watch me there on the screen. But at the time of Maggie, there won't be human beings as a teacher. There would be simply a mechanical teacher. And what are the mechanical teacher? Robots. Simply the computers. There would be simply the screen, and on the screen human beings won't be displayed, they won't be there. Simply you would be given some questions. The questions, I think I had also conducted an online test for you all. Like that, the only questions would be given, you would be explained, the result would be displayed on the screen, and that way, the test after test were conducted for Maggie in geography, and she was doing all the time worse and worse. The first time she at least scored more marks. Later she scored less and less, and this way she was scoring very worst marks, and that's why her mother did not like her performance, and she found later that there must have been fault not with Maggie but with the mechanical teacher. That was a computer, we can say a robot. Understood? So this way, or this is the reason why Maggie hated school. She already did not like school at all because the school she had, I told you how it was, who were the teachers and all, and she hated it at all. But when she was not doing well in the test, she again hated it more than she hated earlier. And when she was told by Tommy that the book was all about school, then she was little scornful. Got it now? Why was Maggie scornful? Very well. I hope you have all understood. If there is any query, please let me know. You can comment if you have not understood. If you have not commented, I would say you have understood all. Need not to say yes, but if there is only any query, then only you comment, please. Then when there was a fault found by mother. She must have realized, because it had never happened in the past, that Maggie was not doing well. She was doing all the time. Yes, I'm coming to the point here. Who is county inspector? County inspector, we have an electrician, a mechanical person, a mechanic, we say. This way, that time, there would be county inspector. County inspector would be the persons looking after these mechanical teachers, if they are doing well or not, what's the fault with the mechanical teacher. What's mechanical teacher? It is just a laptop, it is just a computer that you can say, or a robot, having some slots with it, that you insert your homework, you get some questions downloaded, work on them, or it could be also online, that you are giving the answers, they are all recorded, and even the output, the results are also declared the same moment or after a while. Got it now? And county inspector is a person who repairs, looks after the mechanical teacher. Got it? And when Maggie's mother found something wrong with the mechanical teacher, she called county inspector, so that the county inspector could inspect the teacher if there was any fault. Okay, so let's see. You will come to know in more detail in the next few paragraphs. It is all described well. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. This is the description about county inspector. He smiled at Maggie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Maggie had hoped he would not know how to put it together again, but he knew how, all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. That was not so bad. The part Maggie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. And children, finally, county inspector came. His description, he is a human being. Huh? County inspector is not a robot, but he is a human being, and he came with some, wires in his hand, some box of tools with dials, so that he could open it out and check if something wrong was there with the hardwares or with the softwares installed or programmed with the robot, the mechanical teacher, or you can say a computer. And just inspecting after a while, he looked at Maggie and smiled. Maggie, it's not your fault. And he also handed an apple over to Maggie. And when an apple was given to Maggie, and when he had shown little smile on his face, she understood that it was not her fault. And so she expected that the county inspector should explain to even her mother that it was not her fault. Because when she scored less marks, her mother little must have been little angry with Maggie. And then she is little praying God that county inspector should not be able to collect it back and make it as it was, the ugly box, an idiot box. She refers, here she describe that mechanical teacher in what way? Large and black and ugly with a big screen on it. She hated it very much. But more than that, there was a part of the mechanical teacher that she hated the most. And what was that? That was nothing but the slot where she had to put her homework and test papers. All the time, whenever she was given some homework, she had to put it back with the slot that was provided with the mechanical teacher, and also she had to submit her test papers. And that was the way she was studying. And so she hated that part of the mechanical teacher more than any other part. And one incident she shared with us. What was that incident? Let's see. That when she was just 6 years old, that time they had made her to learn with the help of such a mechanical teacher. And the mechanical teacher was so fast in calculation that in no time the mechanical teacher calculated the marks for Maggie. And these were the reasons that Maggie hated not only the school but also the mechanical teacher, and especially the part of mechanical teacher that was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. Got it, children? I think we are little slower and slower. Every day, just para or two paras are getting over. Children, please don't comment, or if you comment, please don't retract the messages or don't delete them. Have you understood now? Why did Maggie hate the school, especially mechanical teachers he hated? What part? Why does it happen all? Was it her fault or the mechanical teacher? Now the question arises: if the county inspector tells Maggie's mother that it was not her fault. Let's see, that is given in the next para. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Maggie's head. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory." And he patted Maggie's head again. Maggie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" And now, again, we have come back to the point that why she hated and what she said to Tommy. You know, when county inspector was done with his work, he repaired, and finally the mechanical teacher was ready to teach Maggie. And that time he had already smiled, you remember. Then he patted Maggie and said to her mother that it was not at all her fault because the mechanical teacher was little geared faster. As far as her age is concerned, her level is concerned, more than that, the higher level was there in the mechanical teacher. And he said and gave reason that because of some technical issues, it sometimes happens. Otherwise, Maggie had been doing a very well job, very well studies, and she had been scoring very well or very good marks. Who says? The county inspector. Akanksha has a question. I don't talk about it, and now I don't talk. Akanksha, what's it? Means you are busy in typing or listening to me. And this way, county inspector was in Maggie's favor. And finally, when he explained about it, that he has solved the problem and it won't happen again with Tommy, it won't happen with Maggie, that she may not be able to score more. She will definitely score. And he went. But Maggie was disappointed. You know why? Because she had hoped that the mechanical teacher should have been taken away. And she remembers once that Tommy's teacher, who was not doing well or had such problem, was taken out because some history sector of that mechanical teacher had blanked out. And for almost a month, the mechanical teacher of Tommy was taken away by the county inspector, and she hoped the same for her mechanical teacher also, but it didn't happen, and that is the reason that she was disappointed. And so she said to Tommy that why would anyone write about school? I don't like school at all, and what is there about school to write? There is nothing, and such a school that we have, what is there to write about? Aware about the school that we have nowadays and how we have fun with our schools, even if not at present, but there would be again after this crisis is over. So again, thank you everyone. I think our time is over. So goodbye, take care, I will also try to gear up myself as a mechanical teacher, because your level is also very good and you have been doing very well job and you have been understanding. I remember, I know you all well. So okay, goodbye, take care, stay home, stay safe. See you soon tomorrow at the same time.